And the seventh time that happened when the priests blew the trumpets, that Joshua said to the people, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city. Now the city shall be doomed by the Lord to destruction, it, and all who are in it. Only Rahab and
The harlot.
the harlot shall live, she and all who are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And you by all means abstain from the accursed things, lest you become accursed when you take of the accursed things and make the camp of Israel accursed and troubled. But all the silver and gold and vessel of bronze and iron are consecrated, thank you, to the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord. So the people shouted when the priests blew the trumpets. And it happened when the people heard the sound of the trumpet. And the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat. Then the people went up into the city, every man straight before him. And they took the city, and they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman. What happened?
Here, that's what you did. Okay. You accidentally hit that.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's fine. Let's see. I think you're right there. Right. Bring out. No. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let me see your phone for a minute. Let's see. Oh, there you are. Both man and woman. Start from 21 right there. There you go.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, ox and sheep and donkey, with the edge of the sword. But Joshua had said to the two men who had spied out the country, "Go into harlot's house, and from there bring out the woman and all that she has, as I swore to her." And the young men who had been spies went in and brought out Rahab, her father, her mother, her brothers, and all that she had. So they brought out all her relatives and left them outside the camp of Israel. But they burned the city and all that was in it with fire. Only the silver and gold and the vessel and bronze and iron that put into the treasury of the house of the Lord. And Joshua spared Rahab and her harlot.
The harlot.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
Her father's household and all that she had. So she dwelled in Israel to this day, because she hid the messengers whom Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. Then Joshua charged them at that time, saying, "Cursed be the man before the Lord who rises up and builds this city, Jericho. He shall lay its foundation with its firstborn, and with the youngest he shall set up its gates. So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame spread throughout all the country.
So God called Joshua, and he called his army to go to Jericho, march around the city for 7 days with 7 priests and 7 trumpets. I told you that number 7 has a significance. It is the number of God. Think about it like this. How many days did it take God to create everything? 7 days. There you go. And he rested on 6 days, and he rested on the 7th day. But you get my point. And like I said, there's 7 angels, there's 7 candlesticks, and there's 7 churches in Revelation. But you see, the number 7 is really laced through this story as well, because God was basically saying, I am doing this. I'm leading Joshua and his army to bring Jericho down, but I'm the one doing this. I'm the one leading them to march around Jericho for 7 days with 7 priests blowing 7 trumpets. And until that 7th day, they didn't say anything. They didn't shout nothing. So on that 7th day, they shouted, they blew the trumpets, and every wall of Jericho, all around Jericho, fell. And because Rahab had housed the 2 spies that were sent before they even went to Jericho to seek out and check out everything of how their defense was, the weapons or whatever. In other words, relay the land and see what all was going on with Jericho. And the king of Jericho heard about the spies, so Rahab felt God call her to take these spies and bring them into her own home and protect them until the king had stopped having people look. And there were some soldiers that actually came to her house and said, have you seen 2 spies? Have you seen 2 men? Or do you have them in your house? And she basically said, no, I have not seen 2 men. So they went away, and the spies were protected. So in return, Rahab and her family were all protected from Jericho being destroyed. So basically, Joshua and his army took Rahab with them and her family, and took them so that they would not be burned down with Jericho, with all the people in Jericho as well. So basically, it's just like this whole chapter, faith. With faith, Joshua knew that God wanted him to go and march until Jericho fell. With faith, Joshua's army knew that that God wanted them to go and march around and blow trumpets and shout, and hold their tongue until the 7th day, to where on the 7th day the walls would fall. By faith, Rahab took 2 spies into her home and protected them from the king of Jericho and from the soldiers that were coming to look for the spies so that they would be killed, and that Jericho wouldn't come crashing down, wouldn't be destroyed or messed with any other way. So faith has played a very big part in just this first scripture, or first 2 scriptures that we just talked about. So now let's get into the rest of this, because there's so much just about different characters, but the way it talks about I'm not going to go through all these stories and you'll see why, because it basically says it like this, like, in other words, there's no use in this because basically we're getting to the point here. But verse 32 says, and what more shall I say? You see how it starts out there. For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon and Barak and Samson and Jephthah, also of David and Samuel and the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, worked righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouth of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, became valiant in battle, turned to flight the armies of the aliens. Women received their dead raised to life again. Others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, that they might obtain a better resurrection.
still